Welcome to November's vlog. You find me here on a windy Braxted. Fortunately the wind's behind me and hence why the brolly's up. Very muddy Braxted, hence why the brolly won't blow away, because I've got the pole so far down in the ground. The brolly will break before it blows away. What did I say? Well, this isn't actually my first session of November, because it's Thursday today, and on Monday I found out I'd be working a 2-day week from now on and furloughed the other days. So yesterday I went and had a look at one of the other lakes on my ticket, and behind the lake the River Chelmer runs. So as I think I've said before, I've always got my my little jig rod and some bits and bobs in the car. I bought that rod last year and was going to do some drop shotting and jigging, and never really got around to doing anything really. So I've been out once this year before the vlog started and didn't have anything. Took a walk down to the river. It's not far from the car park. Little walk, and you come to a nice weir pool. So I had a few casts in the weir pool, different coloured lures and things, and yeah, it's nothing happened there. But the plan was I was just going to walk along the river. You haven't got much gear with you, let's face, to go jigging or drop shotting, whichever one you want to do. You're looking at a rod with a little reel on it, with a braid on it, a landing net, and your hooks and lures. So very easy to keep moving around. So the idea was to keep moving up the river as far as I could, try different swims, which I did. It was quite bright when I got there, which isn't good for lure fishing. But about an hour into it, it clouded over, so it gave me a bit more confidence. Walked along the river and had a perch, my first ever perch on a lure, which I photographed, and that was followed by two more, cast in, perch, unhook that, put that one back, cast in, perch, unhook that, and then they moved off. I mean, if I was static fishing, I would have a keep net with me. I mean, I learned many years ago as a child, back in the days when clubs didn't have lakes when I was a child. All fishing was on the rivers, and a day's fishing on the club was you'd meet in a car park, jump on a coach, and everybody would get driven to a river. And I learnt from an old boy in those days, I mean, it may not be true, but I've always believed it, that a perch will go back. The perch go around in shoals or packs, and they're predatory fish. But he would never ever, he was a match fisherman, never put a perch back into the water until he'd finished fishing. He was adamant that perch will go back and give the message to the others, and maybe that happened yesterday, because I had 3 perch from that swim and then it went dead. Walked along the swim, hooked into a pike which pulled out. Obviously I've got one little single hook buried in the lure, so I'm not surprised the pike pulled out, but gave me a nice battle until the hook did pull, and nothing else there. Went further along the river, had another pike take, but again lost that one. Went further along the river, had one perch, and by then that was 2 hours I've been on the river. So started making my way back and ended up fishing just to the left of the weir pool, and had another 2 perch out of there. So quite a nice couple of hours on the river there. 6 perch, 2 lost pike, so happy with that. And as I say, got home, and it was only last night I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go up the res tomorrow. So got up this morning, loaded the gear up. I'm in a swim I've never fished, but it's a popular swim, and from where I normally fish I'll keep an eye on this swim. I do like to the left of me, the I don't know if the camera picks this up, the bushes are always in the sunshine. I've got one rod over there, and amazingly I wasn't going to fish far out. I'd fish the margins. Again, I had a little lead around. I've got gravel patches off of 2 overhanging trees close in, but as soon as I got here 2 fish showed. Well, I know now it's 12.5 wraps out into deep silt. So I quickly just put a PVA stick on a wafter and put it out there, and wasn't long I had a fish, 17.5 pound mirror, no photographs, just wading the net. Like I said, I'd only just got here, I was setting up, so yeah, I've decided to keep fishing that spot and put a bit of bait out onto the spot as well. As I say, it's very deep silt out there, so I've pushed the bead right up for the heli to ride up even, and yeah, I'll keep fishing that spot today, see if I can get some more. And on the left hand rod I've done something that I will do normally in the winter if I'm carping. I've just gone for a PVA bag with a little pink pop-up inside, and the pop-up would just be off the bottom really, but with a little bit of pellet around it, and no other 3 baits on that area, so we'll see how it goes. And if I get some more fish I will take some pictures and everything, so I'm set up now ready to go. But yeah, I've definitely waffled enough for this morning already. I can see I've done 6 minutes on this, probably need to edit some of that out. But anyway, yeah, I'll update the vlog later on and take it from there. Right, so lunchtime now. Yeah, it's been quite a productive morning. When I left you I'd had that 1 fish. I've had another 2 off of that same spot in the deep silt out there. And yeah, what happened? I had a run, and yeah, good fight. I had the GoPro in my hand at the time, so I quickly set it recording, and hopefully got the footage of that playing that fish. It was a big battle. I thought I had a really big fish on, to be honest. At the end of the GoPro, when I checked the time, I'd been playing the fish just over 18 minutes to get that one in. So Had that one in the net. Even in the net looking at it, I thought it was probably 22, 23 maybe, quite a broad fish. And so I quickly came up. I was setting out the unhooking mat, setting up the camera, getting everything ready so as we could get this on film properly. And yeah, my left hand rod screamed off, that one in the solid PVA bag with a little pink pop-up. The irony of that is the last 2 times I've come, I've brought 2 landing nets with me because I've had a lot of double runs. And when I was getting this stuff ready last night, I just thought, it's November, you're not going to get double runs now. So I had the dilemma of what I thought was a good fish in the net already and playing a fish. So I didn't really want to try and have 2 fish in the net. I did that once on the other side and just ended up with right mess, the lines, tangled them all up and everything. So I played the fish out for a long time. I just tired the fish out basically. The water is up as high as, I said it before, it's highest I've ever seen it. Well, now it's even higher over here. So I'm actually playing fish in the part of the swim where normally people are sat and fishing and their rods are. So bearing in mind I don't know the swim very well either, it is a bit precarious down there. But my plan was to play the fish until it was just shattered, and that's what I did. And once it was shattered, I just put the rod down and hand lined it in, scooped it out with my hand, had it under my arm if you like, quickly unhooked it and put it back, and that's probably a 13-14 pound common. So then I got the other fish up on the bank, and yeah, when I weighed it, it was actually 19 pound too. So it wasn't a 20, and I did check my scales when I got home last time, and they're bang on. I've got 3 sets of scales and all 3 are within an ounce of each other, so pretty confident they are correct. So videoed that fish, photographed it as well actually, put that fish back, put the rods back out again. That one on the silt patch had another take which was 15 pound, and yeah, I photographed that one as well. Another, yeah, bang on 15 pound common that was. So I'm still baiting up close in these margins, but at the moment I'm happy to sit on the spots I'm fishing. The only other thing that's happened, I had one other bleep on the left hand rod once I'd put it back out in that PVA bag, sat on it for another 20 minutes, nothing happened. So I brought it in, and when I was bringing it in I thought I've got a roach on the end or something, but had a swan mussel clamped around the hook with another swan mussel attached to that, and both of them attached to a stone. So yeah, I was never getting a take on that in that condition, and glad I wound it in. I did think when I looked at it, imagine you was doing the night and you had one bleep in the night, and when you wind in the morning, that's what's been on it all night. So bit of food for thought, I think, when you get single bleeps in the night. I mean, I'm terrible. I would very rarely go and look at a single bleep, but maybe I should. So yeah, there you go. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up now. Don't know how long I'm going to stay here for today. I'm not someone who beats himself up on the bank. If I get bored or I have a couple of fish and I don't feel a need to fish longer into the dark, I won't. But yeah, I'll just wrap the vlog up before I go home. Maybe I've had another fish or 2, we'll see. And yeah, speak to you then. Okay, so I'm going to wrap the vlog up now. It's 3:45, sun goes down at 4:10, so starting to have a bit of a tidy down and leave the rods out for a little bit longer, but not too much longer. Had one more fish, 1 o'clock today. Is yeah, a bit weird, because I was just thinking, you normally get a take at lunchtime, maybe I need to put some more bait out. I literally just loaded up the spom and the rod went, so hastily dropped the rod and spom and brought that fish in, just a 13 pound common. Left hand rods hasn't done anything today really, other than that one fish. Moved it round, I've fished the 2 margin spots with it, nothing off them. Last result, I've put it out on the 12.5 wrap spot, basically next to the rod that has done all 4 of the 5 takes. Don't know, was it the method I'm fishing? Was it the lip oily I'm using? Who knows? We overthink things sometimes. At the end of the day, they're just fish. But it is one of them things. It's interesting how they're both on the same spot. So if the right hand rod was to go again and not the left hand, I would really be questioning the method. But mid-November, or 12th of November, I came here hoping for one fish. If I got two, I'd be over the moon. Well, I've had 5, so I can't be too greedy. So yeah, I shall wrap up and be on my way home. I'm not sure where I'm going to fish next. Yeah, I haven't got a clue. I'll just tell you where I am next time I log on, really, and yeah, speak to you next time I'm fishing. In the meantime, yeah, just stay safe and we'll catch up then. Morning. Here we are, back on Braxted. My intention today was to go in that same swim that I fished last week. I know the spot, 12.5 wraps out, that soft silt. I was just going to clip both rods up and fish them on there and keep an eye on the water. Followed another car into the car park, and yeah, we were the only two here. That was just before 6, 5 to 6 I think it was. And an old boy got out of his car and said, "Oh, good mornings," like you do. And he said, "Oh, where are you going?" I said, "I'm going up on the res." He goes, "Yeah, so am I." And yeah, long story short, he wanted to fish the same swim that I wanted to fish. Unbelievably, he's come to do some roach fishing for the day, and at the end of the day, you know, technically he was here before me, so I said to him to go in that swim, and yeah, that's fine. You know, he's only fishing till lunchtime, so if nothing happens in this swim, I shall move along. Basically, I've come the next swim along from him. I have fished this swim once before. In the summer, I came home and did an evening. I've had 4 or 5 fish out there. I can't remember which, but it's one of the two. But basically, I remember dead opposite me, if I spin the camera around, there's a silver birch, 9.5 wraps out. There was a gravel patch, so basically I've just put 3 spots of pellet and 3 spots of hemp on that spot. There's already small fish showing on it, and it's only 7:05 now, so that bait's been out there 30 minutes, I guess. The downside of the small fish being there is obviously they're cleaning the bait out, but hopefully the carp will follow them in. And then both overhanging branches or trees to the left and right of this swim, I think I had 2 fish off the left hand bush and 1 off the right, and they were, in the summer, they were 4 foot deep from memory on gravel, so they're probably 6 foot deep now on gravel. So my right hand rod is just off of the right hand bush on that spot. Little PVA bag and a couple of handfuls of pellet. A carp just showed to the right of my spot out there. Yeah, a couple handful of pellet and probably 20 boilies on there, and we'll see how the day pans out. Obviously keep my eye on the water, move around. The pressure's quite high today, and it's going to get higher as the day goes on. So what I will probably do is, if I do move swims, or even if I don't, if I stay in here and I'm catching, I will put both rods on the one spot, but one will be on a zig, probably start 2 or 3 foot off the bottom initially, and just see what happens. A good chance of fish will be moving up in the layers. Like I say, the pressure definitely gets high. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But as I say, it's 2 carp are shown, one to the left at that silver birch and one to the right, and then a ripple's just come up dead on it. So who knows, we may have a fish shortly. I'll update you later in the day, either still in this swim or in the new swim. See you later. Well, welcome back. Midday now, and yeah, productive morning, to be honest. I've had 4 fish now. First fish, 20 pound 2 ounce, so it looked like a 20 in the net, so I set everything up, weighed it, photographed it and everything, put that one back, and then because everything was set up, I have actually weighed every fish, and I've had so 20 pound 2, it was 15 pound 4, 14 pound 10 and 16 pound 2. So yeah, good morning. That's those 4 runs between 9:30 and 11:30, so 4 fish in 2 hours. you'd take that any day of the week. When you think next year I'll be fishing on a syndicate where 4 fishing the whole year is a really good season. So this will definitely be my backup water next year when I'm getting depressed and thinking I've forgotten how to fish and everything because I'm not catching. I will come down here and hopefully nick a fish or two just to boost your confidence. What else can I say about this morning? Speaking to the old boy in the first swim, the swim I was originally going to go in. Fair play, 76 he is, still fishing. So I hope I'm fishing when I'm his age. When I last spoke to him about an hour ago, he'd had 35 roach now, so he's enjoying his days fishing. He's even going to stay on a little bit longer because he's enjoying it so much. But yeah, I won't bother moving into his swim, to be honest. Had I been struggling in here, I would have gone in that swim. And I've also noticed where he's putting his maggots and ground bait and everything, catching his roach from. I probably would have fished one rod on there because the carp will move in there 100%, and you'll get carp off that spot later on. But given the day's going well, and I wasn't sure how long I'd stay today. Yeah, I'm just gonna make the most of the day and get home a nice early time. Looks like I'll be cooking dinner again. No change there, but yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I'll catch up with you just before I go and update the vlog and everything. So see you in a bit. Okay, so here we are, wrapping up the vlog a lot earlier than I thought I would. It's 3:45. Maybe there was some karma from letting the old boy have that swim this morning, because yeah, I've just unhooked my 10th fish of the day. It's just, I mean, I'll read the list out. It's just been a mad day. £20 2, £14 10, £15 4, £16 2, £14 8, £12, £18 12, £18, £15, £20 8. The £18 and the £15, they were at 2.30 today, double take. So yeah, 2 nets in the water, fish in each net. So they were fish 8 and 9. And in fairness, it was a half-hearted chuck out, thinking, well, let's see if I can nick a 10th fish before I go home. If not, I'll pack up at 4. And yeah, I've had that 10th fish. Everything's away apart from the unhooking mat, waist sling. I didn't bother photographing it. It's £20 8 ounces, but I've said before, I don't need to photograph them. I did photograph the £20 this morning, which was the first fish. I photographed the 18 and 15 double take. I think I photographed one other fish as well. Might have been the 16 too. Just because the camera was set up and everything. But yeah, it's what can you say about the day? Interesting day. 8 of those 10 fish have come to a solid PVA bag. Didn't matter what colour pop-up was in there, although they both were krill. Some were pink and some, well, it's 4 of each. 4 pink and 4 the brown natural krill colour pop-up. What I did find was that 9.5 wraps, and again, I know from before, if you fall just short of it or just long of it, you're into soft silk. So I wasn't getting any take, so I came to 9 wraps, spotted out a load of hemp, and that's what I was getting the takes off. Couldn't get a take off the spinner rig popped up that I put out, so I then put that to the same 9 wraps, but just to the side of the solid bag. Still wasn't getting any takes. Then I swapped them over, put the spinner rig where the solid bag had been, and put the solid bag where the spinner rig had been. Finally got a take on the spinner rig, put that back out, then had the double take, and then the £20 8 ounce I've just put back again on the solid bags. I think what's happening, I think they're hoovering up the hemp in the silt, and the pop-up that's in the solid bag, you imagine it's got all the pellets around it, and the pop-up is literally the size of the hook off the bottom, and they're just hoovering everything in together. So Yeah, a bit like I thought would happen in the other swim I said last time. If I went in there, that's what I'd do, fish into the silt, small pop up just above it. So yeah, I think that's what happened today. So just wrapping this up. What's going to happen the rest of the month, I don't know. I may go and do a couple of nights next week on one of the lakes I can fish on my Luton ticket. Again, I've said it before, it's November. Well, it's the 19th of November, 20th of November maybe. So we're late November, it's not the time to be going fishing lakes that you don't know. But I just fancy going and doing a couple of nights. It's still staying mild. As I said, I'm only working a 2-day week at the moment, so why not abuse it? So maybe that's what I'll do. Not 100% certain, but whatever it is, I'll see you on the bank sometime next week, and that'll be wrapping the November vlog up probably, and take it from there. See you then. Good afternoon. Welcome to the vlog again. You'll find me on one of the Luton waters, as I said when I ended the last vlog, or the last day's fishing. Yeah, I thought I may come up to this lake. It's on the ticket that I can fish nights. You just have to book on, so the lakes aren't overcrowded at night, so that's not bad. I booked on for 2 nights, so I'm here and see how it goes. Just beyond the lake is the River Ouse, which you're allowed to fish as well. If nothing's happening on here, you're allowed to leave your swim for an hour and a half, so I may have an hour and a half on the Ouse tomorrow with the jig gear or drop shotting, whichever one I fancy. See if we can nick some perch out of there. Yeah, quite a good journey up here. It took me an hour to get here, more than happy with that. On arrival, there's one person on the lake. They did last night, didn't have anything last night. They're actually up the other end of the lake. They said they didn't see any fish or hear any fish. I had a walk around, couldn't find any fish, so it's just going on what looks okay. Found 2 possible swims that I fancy. Well, thank goodness I got the electric barra. Forgotten how much gear you need for a 2-day in the winter. You know, in the summer I'll still get away with just an umbrella, but to bring the bivvy with me, that weighs a ton and it's quite bulky. But yeah, fortunately got everything on the barra and wheeled it round. Stopped at the swim I'm in now, which is I'm actually at the end of the lake. It's basically, when I arrived there was a southerly wind blowing into this end, and the forecast is for that to turn, and it has already turned to a northwesterly, which is a lot colder wind and will blow away from me. I don't think the fish will follow a northwesterly, they may sit on the back of it. Also there's some overhanging trees and everything, obviously no leaves on them or anything at the moment. So I wheeled round to this swim, took the marker rod off. Unfortunately it started raining, so I got a bit wet. Had a few flicks out with a marker rod. Found a spot just off of a overhanging tree, 3 rod lengths out. And basically if you're pulling back towards me from the tree, you've got 7 foot, 7 foot, and then it goes really smooth and it's 8 foot. Then you come back up 7 foot again. I'm guessing that's a hole where fish feed. So yeah, I've put a bait on there and put some freebies on there. That's in a little PVA solid bag, and some hemp over there and pellet over there. And then I've put the marker rod out pretty much slightly to my left but in front of me, pulling back into weed and crud and everything. Had a few casts and I found a spot. It's just before, well, coming back to me, you've just pulled out of a cruddy old dead weed bed. Then you get a little bit of clear and then you go back into another weed bed. So again I'm fishing to that spot. Again I've spotted out 10 spods of pellet. It's the low oil pellet, although I've had it soaking in sweetener for 3 days now. So the pellet isn't wet anymore, but it should leak out that sweet smell into the water, hopefully attracting fish. I don't know a lot about the lake. It doesn't people don't report their captures, or if they do, it doesn't produce a lot of fish. But I certainly know on these lakes, mad baits goes into it a lot. Definitely the nut mix and the wicked whites. I mean, I've got wicked white pop-ups, so I've gone on my Manila, because that's what I've got at home, Manila. Not dissimilar to the nut mix. I've got a bed of Manila out there, a sweet pellet, and we'll see what happens. I know it's a little bit noisy here. We're right next to the A1, but that should die down as the night goes on, hopefully. And like I say, the other good thing at this end of the lake, if I spin it round, I can see the whole lake, so I can watch and see if any fish show, and if they do, I can move tomorrow. It's a bit of a ball lake, moving all your gear when you've got the bivvy, the winter bed and everything, but you know, if I see fish, I will move on to them tomorrow, and if I don't, I'll stay on here and have a little go on the ewes. So we'll have a catch up in the morning, see if I've had anything or heard anything, and take it from there. So see you then. Well, morning. It's a very cold night last night. The weather didn't do what the forecast predicted. Heavy frost. Yeah, not very conducive for fishing. Certainly not for carp anyway. On the river, roach and chub would still feed, but generally a heavy frost is a kiss of death. Just had a quick check of the weather. Same tonight as well, so yeah, that's not looking good, to be honest. Did hear one fish last night. I mean, I was wrapped up in my bed by 9 o'clock, and about 11 o'clock a fish crashed, and I quickly jumped out of bed, out the bivvy, had a look, noted that spot, and I'm keeping an eye on that spot this morning. One other fish has shown this morning. I've just moved the rod, I've put a solid bag, I've taken it off that snag tree and put it right on the, exactly landed in the swirl of where the fish showed. So you know, give that an hour. Generally, my experience casting a showing fish, if you haven't had a take in an hour, you're not getting a take off of it. So we'll see what happens on that spot. Yeah, a couple more people on the lake this morning, which a little bit annoying, because you know, I was going to walk down and have a go on the river for some perch later on, but given I'm on a lake that I don't know anyone, and, you know, realistically, I've easily got £5 worth of equipment here. I don't really want to walk off and just leave it here, not knowing anyone on the lake. So I won't do the river today. We'll see how it goes. What I'm conscious of is not doing a boring vlog. I'm sure it is boring. If nothing's happening and you're not catching fish, it's boring to watch. So I won't update the vlog later today unless I've had a fish. I'll update it tomorrow, hopefully with a fish, but if not, to wrap up the vlog. Yeah, that's about it really. I mean, most of the action in the night last night was rats, so I've never known so many rats in a swim. That's not true. I fish Carthagena. The rats are really bad on there. But yeah, the rats were pretty horrendous on here last night. Down by the rods from 4:30 as soon as it got dark. And by 7 o'clock they were coming up to the bivvy door as well. So if you've watched my vlogs before, you know I don't use a bivvy door, but yeah, I did close it last night. The rats were just, I've said before, I don't like rats, and they were just getting a bit close for comfort. So yeah, not that door will stop them getting in if they really want to get in, but anyway. So yeah, that's it for now. Sun's out, at least all the frost is burning off, and we'll see what happens. Either speak to you later today or wrapping up the vlog tomorrow just before I go home. See you then. Oh, wrapping up November now. It's nothing happened in the night again, and a very, very frosty night last night. I'm pretty much packed away. Bivvy's just drying in the sun. Got a zig out still. There are fish on the surface. But yeah, November all in all wasn't a bad month. Certainly that last carp I had last week down at the res, when I updated the spreadsheet that I just keep a track on, that was my 100th carp of the year, given the year didn't start till June the 16th, June the 18th actually, because of lockdown and everything, and it was November the 20th, so 5 months, 100 carp. So pretty amazing, certainly by me. I had a quick look back one year, it was 2011, I only caught 1 carp all year. 2009, 4 carp all year. Average for me a 35-40 carp. The last 2 years have been a bit better, and yeah, here we are, 2020. Hasn't even been a year, we only had 5 months with a month to go, and I'm on 100 carp already. So yeah, we've had November's been interesting. Had a few perch when we went down the river, and that's you know, that's where we are. Quite a good month. Not sure what December holds for us. And the weather hasn't really turned yet. It's still quite mild most days, so the carp obviously is still feeding on well stocked lakes anyway. But even on lakes like this, I would expect the carp to feed had it not been a big frost. You know, I found 2 really good spots, but c'est la vie. Yeah, so gonna pack up the rods now, and hopefully you've enjoyed the vlog again. Subscribers, we've gone up from 20 to 25, so again, thanks for the extra subscribers, and thanks for those sticking with me. If there's anything you'd like me to actually do in a vlog, or like to see in a vlog, if you just put some comments at the bottom of this vlog. As long as you're a registered YouTube user, you can put comments, and I will try and accommodate people. Certainly only actually know personally 4 people who watch the vlog, and one of them's a lady from work, and she likes me showing the little walks down to the rivers and lakes, which is why I put one in again this month. Eddie, a contractor who's worked for me for so many years at different companies, or 2 companies that I've worked at over the last 20 years. Eddie's been a contractor for us, and he's not even a fisherman. He loves the fishing, but he loves the time lapse on the journeys in, hence why I put those in occasionally. So yeah, if there's anything you'd like to see, put a comment at the bottom, and I will try and put it in. That's it for November, so I'll see you on the bank in December. As I say, I don't know what fishing it will be, whether it will be mostly rivers. I said November will be mostly rivers, but it hasn't been because the weather stayed mild. I'm sure we'll be on the res trying to nick some carp out of there again, and if the water temperatures stay up, we will have another barbel session definitely. But anyway, thanks for watching, stay safe, see you in December.